I work here at the Ontario Institute of Health Research. Okay, so we're going to do, in this module, we're going to do databases and visualization tools, and then we're going to conclude by getting you up on the Amazon Cloud, so you can spend the rest of the week actually doing the cancer genomics workshop. Okay, this is what Francis would like to disclaim here. He doesn't profit from any of this information. However, he was a former employee of NCBI. I think he was there for 6 years, so there's a lot of NCBI content on here. He is a current employee of OICR, and he makes no apology for that because he's going to put that content in here too. These are his communication mechanisms. They're not mine. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask them about his content. He's quite active, and we'll get back to you quite quickly. So what are we going to cover? We're going to talk about databases. Databases in general in bioinformatics. It's more of a refresher of how databases are organized and structured, and then specifically to give a chat about cancer databases. We're going to switch to someone who knows IgG better than myself, so that we'll talk about visualization. We'll also talk a little bit about visualization within ICGC, the International Cancer Genomics Consortium, and then we're going to conclude with logging into AWS and getting you set up for the workshop. So why do we have bioinformatics? What do we want to waste your time? I mean, it's not a old field, per se. It's definitely a new field. Certainly when I was studying in undergraduate courses, bioinformatics wasn't even a course, it wasn't even a topic in a course, it was pretty much nothing. And now here I am working in an informatics department, which is 130 people big, and the lab group is only 30 people big. So there's been a complete reversal. And that's probably because all genomics and proteomics technologies out there are just pumping data into the internet, and all that data we have access to. So it is a young field, but it did start in the late 60s or early 70s with the publication of the Atlas of Protein Sequence and Structure, Margaret Dayhoff. And she just wanted to put protein sequence together. And she published it in a paper book. Certainly that doesn't seem feasible when you talk about genomes, but very quickly it became evident that being able to search across those sequences, protein or genomic sequences as the case is now, and do comparisons and ask questions of that sequence would be of very significant value. And BLAST came about because of that need to ask questions on that sequence. And GenBank obviously came about as a place to store that sequence, not in paper format. Scientists think of bioinformatics the same way that wet lab people think about their wet lab experiments. And you can do experiments in bioinformatics. I mean, that's the point of having all this data. And it's the same way. You have reagents, which is called the sequence information, the databases where you're getting this information as your reagents. You are going to do some experiment. You're going to do some protocol. You're going to align your protein, align your nucleotide to protein, etc. So you're doing some search against that sequence, that's your protocol, and you get some alignment on which you need to make an interpretation. So in Francis's here, this is a bioinformatics experiment. And I mean, it's the same, you still have to do all the same things. You're going to have your reagents, you're going to have your methods, and you're going to have your controls, and you need to ask appropriate questions and design your experiment in an appropriate manner. So this is really relevant in cancer space. You find a variant. Is your variant normal? Is your variant a real variant? Is your variant contributing to the cancer progression and development? So we should be doing experiments with bioinformatics. Okay, Francis is a great proponent of think, pair, share. Can I take a moment to do think, pair, share? And his request is how do you define bioinformatics computational biology? So look to your neighbor, look to your person behind you, and we'll take 1 minute and think, pair, share what your definition of bioinformatics computational biology might be. Please. Okay, folks. Anybody want to shout out their definition of bioinformatics computational biology? Anybody? Yes. So we were saying how bioinformatics is basically anything where you're just looking at data, lots of data that's biological relevant. We've got computational ones, especially that computational biology ones that find algorithms to try to store that data. Sure. I think there's no one definition of bioinformatics. Anybody else? Even when I'm teaching in the high school classes, I'm breaking down the word bio. To do biology, information, lots of information, and mathematics is like the automation of something. So there's no one definition. The one offered by Fossey is bioinformatics is about integrating biological themes together with the help of computer tools, biological databases, and gaining new knowledge about the system in study. I think it's the last part here is that the objective is obtaining new knowledge. There is a reason we're doing bioinformatics, and particularly in cancer research, and that is to gain new knowledge about the tumor under investigation. You're going to see these symbols a whole bunch in bioinformatics space. Bioinformatics is hugely based upon openness, open access, open source, open data, open training materials. You can't do bioinformatics. It's ridiculous if you develop an algorithm such as BLAST and there was no data to BLAST upon. So the whole concept of bioinformatics is really dependent upon everything being open. And so I would encourage you, if your labs are already not doing it, to partake in that openness. And the newest thing coming up is the publication of bioarchive. Who's publishing bioarchive or in other open access fashion? Yeah, a few hands. So this is coming. This sort of like open publication, such that you don't have to log in and wait for a publication to become available. It's frustrating when you're in PubMed and you hit that journal. That doesn't happen that way. Anyway, that's a little bit of a tangent. Okay, so going back to our bioinformatics experiment, the reagent being the place where all of that sequence information is located. Databases are an organized array of information where we're putting all of that sequence data, and if it's placed in there well, you should be able to get it back out. There are instances where you can't get it back out, but most people won't be using those databases. The bonus of a database is the overarching layer of being able to query that database and view that data. So if you have the structure of a database, I'm just trying to choose minutes. I lost minutes. Oh, here it is. Okay, sorry. I'm not visually seeing this here. So you have your data. You have data and its inherent metadata. Anybody want to read your list without looking at your notes what that metadata might be? What might metadata refer to?
Structuring frameworks and data structure.
Yeah, and the tags on those various kinds of data, right? So date stamps, little details around a particular bit of data, like this variant was first identified on such and such a date. Like sometimes this metadata is actually quite useful and it needs to be cross-matched against other databases. So that the metadata is used to link those things together, right? Then you have your data, and this is probably what we're most familiar with, particularly if you've gone to NCBI and GenBank, you know the file, or if you've gone to Cosmic, you know the Cosmic record. These are some other examples that are synonyms that you know, it would be the title of a book in a book. All this data and its inherent metadata is stored within a system. And the system is not visible to us, but it's the back end of the database. It is the MySQL, it is the Oracle, it is the analogy being the bookshelf. It is the thing that is housing all of this data and allowing the next level to make it queryable so that you can ask questions on this data. You're going to be doing a lot in this workshop. We're going to be doing grepping and such as some command line things that you can interact with this database and this queryability of the database. For non-command line people, the next bit is actually probably the most important, is the presentation of the system, the interface between you and the database, into which you can ask your question if you're not asking it from a command line point of view. And so this is probably what most of us are familiar with. Any questions about that? The database feature, okay. So what does NCBI have to offer? It's a way to submit that data, learn about that data, analyze that data, download, develop, do research, etc. with that data. So it's sort of a one-stop shop with all of the available data internationally. You're talking about NCBI, but that doesn't mean if you're coming from Europe or you're coming from Asia and you're more familiar with EDI or DDBJ, that those are the similar spaces to NCBI in North America. And this representation here is that all three of those databases share their information every 24 hours. So whether you're looking through EDI or whether you're looking through DDBJ, all of that information is being shared in the open fashion that bioinformatics encourages, such that everybody is talking about the same thing. You need to be talking about the same thing. We can't do research if we're not talking about the same thing. There's now going to be a chunk of slides related to NCBI and related to how NCBI is structured, its files, etc. This is because Corky works at NCBI and he works in GenBank, and this is where his specialty is from. So I'm going to do my best to give that justice. NCBI is so much more than just GenBank. It is, if I have kids doing science fair projects, I'd be sending them here because you can do books and chemical models. You can do everything. It's a great source of lots of information. Literature, health, genomics, protein, chemicals, and for any of those things, there's the associated database with that housed within NCBI. But they're equivalent databases in EDI and DDBJ, so it is not specific to NCBI. All the information is shared out. Some places are, EDI maybe has a bit more strength in the chemical space than NCBI, but they're still all sharing their information. Landing page for NCBI, if you haven't been there recently. And the formats used by NCBI. Actually, if I'm going to stress anything that you're going to learn from the cancer genomics workshop, is you're going to learn a lot of file format conversion. Getting from one file format to the next file format to the next file format, and finally ending up in the file format that makes sense to you, such that you can carry forward on your research. Certainly in the sequence space, we're starting with FASTA files. Everybody is familiar with a FASTA file, I'm quite sure. Where from a sequencing point of view, there is the FASTQ file, or the BAN file, which is the pre-align file. So we're actually going to work through the FASTQ and BAN file over the next couple of days, getting to your BCF files, and then looking at functional annotation on that. So there's a hierarchy of file formats, and I might alter my bioinformatics definition and say that it is a lot of file format conversion. This is what I sometimes think bioinformatics is all about. Certainly there is layers of databases. From a primary research perspective, you may only be working in the archival databases, the databases that just pretty much just store all the data, and with the associated metadata, their annotations. I think that a more valuable space, certainly a space when you're trying to make biological interpretations from your data, is the secondary data, the highly curated data, which has a human oversight on it. That is, somebody has gone in and said that these are all the reference sequences, and this is the correct annotation for this particular gene. And this is certainly the secondary databases are really, really, really valuable. Every year, I don't know if you're aware, but there's actually two publications that come out in nucleic acid research that are maybe worth at least browsing the titles. One is the database issue, which comes out in January, and in July, so shortly, is the web tools issue. And it's just a really neat way to pay attention to what new data has come out and what new tools to compute on that data are coming out within a year. And it's really interesting. I used to manage the integration of these tools into the links directory, and it's just really interesting from looking at a title and abstract perspective what new tools are needed or necessary, what new databases are coming out. So January 2016 obviously is already out for database issue, and upcoming we have July 2016 will be the web tools. Okay, that was a tangent. The tangent was probably there because Francis is editor of the database, so I didn't make these slides or order them, so I just have to go with what is the next slide coming up here, so bear with me. So going back now to GenBank. and we're talking about the file format, and we were saying that one of the biggest things that you can do in bioinformatics is converting file formats. The flat file, the initial file created within GenBank. I don't know if you spent any time looking through this file, you probably scroll down right to the end, or you just say, show me output the file in FASTA. But there's a lot of information. It's divided in three: the header, the features, and the sequence. Mostly you're either scrolling down to the sequence, but there's a lot of information within this file. It's the human readable version of submitted data. Yeah, I'm not sure what was meant to be said there. Accession number. So each file, though, within GenBank has an associated accession number. And it's actually quite useful to know what the accession number is because you can gain a lot of information from the number itself. So the format within GenBank differs depending on the sequence input. You have a 1+5 model, meaning 1 letter, 5 numbers, 2+5. In the case of whole genome sequence, you would have 4+2+6. Proteins and REST-seq files have similar but different formats. And everything is versioned. So if a single nucleotide changes from the original file, you'll get the same accession number, but you'll get a different version. So when you do a blast search and it pulls up all of these particular hits, you want to make sure that you're actually on the most current version. So if there's more than one version, you're going to choose version 3 instead of version 1. Unless that you were executing on version 1, so just pay attention to the version. The other useful bit of information about accession numbers is the coding up front. NG_NG_NM_NR. It'll tell you what the sequence is, corresponding sequences. So NM is messenger RNA sequence file. NR is going to be an RNA file. And this you can very quickly see what, if you have a whole list of a whole bunch of hits and you're only looking for RNA, well, you're going to click on the NR_ file as opposed to the NC_ file. NCI is running out of numbers, so they're actually going and expanding their accession numbers. I don't know what they're going to do when they run out of digits, numerical digits. Maybe it'll increase the letter digits as well. I have no idea. Interesting. We're running out of unique numbers. Assemblies within NCDI also have interesting annotation models. Everything is, you can read a lot from these accession numbers, as I was saying. The model organism files also have the X inside of them, so it's an indication that that's a model file. Whole genome sequence special cases. I don't know what he meant to say in this, other than pay attention. If it's an NZZP, not sure. Okay, this is a FASTA format, which you should all be familiar with. You've probably seen this quite a few times. This one is quite a good FASTA file because it actually has the information up here about the accession number, the reference. So we know that this is NP, so it was in the protein phase, and with the accession number and the version number, and then some descriptor of the sequence, like the P53, exon 9, and the organism that it's from. If that is missing, and it's just an arrow, it's really hard to tell, but sometimes that is missing. It's just empty, and you don't know what that information is. NCDI publishes regularly on the updates and the resources, as does EBI. And I haven't actually seen GEDC publications